Checking your belt deflection and your rear axle alignment is just as important as any other 5,000 mile service you need to do. These belts can last up to 100,000 miles if maintained properly, but if they're too tight or too loose, they can wear out really quick, and it can turn into a costly repair. You do need a special tool to measure it properly. This is a belt tension gauge. Costs around 20 bucks. It really is a good investment compared to how much you'd pay out if you had to change your belt and all the labor. So get one of these online. The first thing we want to do is check the condition of the belt, the pulleys, and find the tightest spot in the belt. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and remove the upper guard so I can get a better angle recording this. Spinning the wheel slowly, just looking for any damage to the teeth, missing teeth, cracks or fraying. Also the edge of it. Mine hasn't done a lot of miles, so my belt's looking pretty good. Checking the outer part of the belt, the back pulley, looking for any holes, cracks or fraying, and whether or not it's running consistently with the gaps. So it's aligned properly. Mine is. If you see the belt rubbing against either side of the edge, then that's a problem. You want to check the condition of the edge on both sides. Checking the back pulley for any damages, gouges, or excessive flaking of the chrome plating. So mine has a bit of a flaking going on there, but not excessive. And you want to make sure there's no sharp edges either. Otherwise it's going to wear out the belt really quickly. Unfortunately, the chrome plating will flake off even over time if the bike's just been sitting in the garage in a damp place, like here in the UK. But this is a low mile bike, so I'm just going to monitor it. Check the front pulley as well for any excessive wear, flaking. Mine is looking okay. Now we just need to find the tightest point in the belt. That's it, right there. So I got the bike on the ground on the Jiffy stand for now, and the bike has to be cold to do this measurement. You're likely to have this window with the graduation marks. So each of these marks is 1/8 of an inch. And you have to refer to your service manual as to what your specs are. Mine is 5/16 to 3/8. If you don't have this window, you can use the gauge because you got the increments here and this O-ring. So basically you can align the O-ring with a reference point, like the bottom edge of the guard. And as you push up, you can just count the increments. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to set this to the 10-pound mark, applying 10 pounds of pressure, and push it up until the O-ring reaches the tube. So put the belt in the cradle, nice and flat. Push up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4/8 of an inch. That's too loose. I need to adjust it. I like to do a more precise measurement though. So I got my specs on here. It's got sticky tape on the back. So I can just align it with the cradle. Push up. I can see it more accurately. The only thing I didn't do though is have somebody with my weight sitting on the bike while measuring the deflection. And with most models, including mine, the service manual wants you to have the rider's weight on the bike when checking it, but you need to refer to your own service manual because it can vary. The reason why I didn't do it just now is because from past experience, I've checked and measured before. The difference between me sitting on the bike or the bike's on Jiffy stand is very small. It's basically less than 1/16 of an inch, 1 millimeter. And we already measured 4/8 of an inch on the Jiffy, so I know I need to adjust it anyway. But at the final check, I'm going to do it properly, uh, measure it on the Jiffy, and with my son sitting on it to show you guys the difference. First, we need to remove the spring clip and loosen up the axle nut. So now we need to tighten the adjusters. I'll let it fall down to 6 o'clock. And clockwise, I'm just going to do probably 1/16, just a tiny bit. Same here. That's it. So now we want to check the rear axle alignment. There's different ways of doing this. You can run a tape measure from the swing arm pivot all the way to the center of the axle, or if you have these holes in the swing arm, most diners do, then you can make your own tool. It's interesting that the factory service manual doesn't detail how you can measure it or what tool you can use. I guess it's geared towards more professional mechanics, which is why I love using this e-manual I've been raving about recently, because it has it all detailed for you, as up in the picture here. Shows you how to make the tool and how you can measure it. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description below if you want one of these manuals. And don't forget to use my code because you'll get 20% off. So here's the tool I just made. It's basically a bicycle spoke. I put a bend on it and I get a grommet sliding up and down. So you put it in the hole, align it with the center of the axle, like so. And we'll go to the other side and measure it. Do the same thing. And it's all aligned. Now you can also use a caliper and something that's straight. And basically run it all the way to the center of the axle. Check on the other side as well. Right on. If your alignment off, just adjust the right side to get it all aligned. I'm not going to torque it down just yet, but snug it down real good. So let's lower the bike and check it. So this is with the bike on the Jiffy stand, so you can see the difference. A little bit over the upper mark. So this is with the rider's weight on the bike. Hopefully you can see that it's right between the marks. It only got a hair tighter this way. So we're good. And this is what I do when I don't have anybody sitting on the bike when I'm doing the service. I just set it to 3/8 or just over 3/8 on the Jiffy stand because I know that it's going to get it right within spec. Before torquing down the nut, you can double check the alignment. I've just done that. It's all set. So I'm going to torque it down to 60 foot-pounds. Spring clip. I just popped the upper guard back on, so we're all set.